It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, it's a Friday. It feels like a Friday, doesn't it? We've gotten all the way through the week. We're here. It's a Friday afternoon, and I had you covered, my friends. I've got just what we need. I'm really excited to get back to Steely Dan and to complete my full album reaction of their classic album, Asia. It's going to be a fun one. Y'all, 4 weeks ago today, I started this full album reaction by listening to side one of this classic album. We heard Black Cow and Asia and Deacon Blues, and I really enjoyed it, y'all. I have gotten to know their sounds a bit. I had gotten to know their sounds a little bit before embarking on this full album reaction. We heard Do It Again and Kid Charlemagne, as well as the title track, Asia, previously on the channel. So I was ready for their kind of music. But I have to tell you, friends, I was really wowed by the sophistication of their arrangements, the complexity of the voicings, and just the sheer great musicianship that was shown by all of the players that they assembled for this album. So I'm very eager to continue on and listen to side two with y'all today. It's going to be a fun time. As a reminder, Asia is the band's sixth album. They released it in the fall of 1977, and it is the band's most commercially successful album. It's the pinnacle of their recording career. This album is a true celebration of the melding of jazz and popular music, and it just comes together, and till you can't understand either side anymore. It's just something completely new, and it's well documented as one of the great albums in rock and jazz fusion history, and it won a Grammy for Best Engineered Non-Classical Recording when it came out. The band leaders, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker, assembled about 40 of the best musicians from the Los Angeles area at the time to come in and play on this album. And every track has a slightly different lineup as a result of that. So we get exactly what they want in every track. As I look at the track listing for side two, we've got 4 songs. We've got Peg, Home at Last, I Got the News, and Josie. And as I look at these, none of these titles spark a memory with me, so I think all of these will be first-time listens, which I'm really excited to do as well. And so before we dive into the music today, though, y'all, I am eager to welcome NordVPN as a sponsor of today's video. NordVPN has been my VPN of choice for a few years now, y'all, and I absolutely love their service. The network is always reliable and fast. The VPN goes with me all over the world, and just in the last 30 days, it has protected me from over 20,000 ads and trackers and other internet vulnerabilities. So as I do my work here on the Daily Doug, most days I am uploading and downloading very large files to the internet, and NordVPN provides the peace of mind that I need to run my online business without fear. And now NordVPN has partnered with Saily to provide even more quality services to their customers. So I'm sure that y'all know who NordVPN is, but you might not know who Saily is. They are a new eSIM service app brought to us by the people at Nord Security. So here's how it could work, y'all. Our good friend John, who is a member of our team, recently traveled from Europe to South Korea for a music conference, and he was worried about his roaming charges and his data usage as he traveled internationally. And our connection with him while he was traveling was hit and miss. So with Saily, folks like John and us don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. Here's how it works. You download the app once, and then once this eSIM is installed, It eliminates the need for users to install or acquire a new eSIM or regular SIM card. This eSIM provides an internet connection wherever you travel, and it saves you money on roaming fees. You simply buy a plan, install the eSIM, and then activate your plan and travel with secure internet access and data at your fingertips. And all of Saily's plans are compatible for both iOS and Android devices. So friends, this offer is quite wonderful, and it's exclusive and not available everywhere. When you purchase a 2-year NordVPN plan, you will get an extra 4 months at no extra charge, and you'll get up to a 20 gigabyte Saily data voucher. So make sure you click on my special URL that is in this video's description and pin comment to redeem your discount with NordVPN and Saily today. And as always, if you're not completely satisfied, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, y'all, with that being said, let's get into the music, shall we? Side 2. On side 2, Peg is up first. This is actually the lead single from the album. It reached number 11 on the U.S. charts in early 1978. And according to Donald Fagen, the setting is a seedy photo shoot in Los Angeles, and it's a story of an aspiring actress, Peg, as told from the perspective of her jilted boyfriend. So another thing that I read about this that's interesting is that they brought in seven different great studio guitar players to take a shot at the guitar solo in this song. And it eventually went to Jay Graydon, who, as an LA session musician and a darn good one, has worked with many musicians, including Barbra Streisand, Dolly Parton, Diana Ross, Ray Charles, Cher, Marvin Gaye, the Jackson 5, and that's just the start of his curriculum vitae. So that's really amazing. I'm looking forward to hearing the guitar solo. And Jay actually mentioned that he did not know that his song, or his solo, I should say, was the one that was selected until he heard the finished album, or the finished song on the radio. So that's interesting. Donald Fagen is on lead vocals. Rick Marotta is on the drums. Chuck Rainey is on the bass. Paul Griffin is on the Fender Rhodes. Don Grolnick's on the clavinet. Steve Kahn is on the guitar. Jay Graydon plays our guitar solo. Victor Feldman and Gary Coleman are on percussion. Tom Scott plays something called a lyricon, which, as I look into it, it's some sort of electronic wind instrument. And Michael McDonald comes in as a backing vocalist. So like I said, a little bit of everything, y'all. Let's get into it. Here is Peg, and it starts off side 2 of Asia from Steely Dan. Off we go. Oh, this, I think I've heard this. Yeah, I've heard this on the radio.
Your name in lights above it. This is your big debut.
Moves to the 4, back to the 1. I think they're in G.
Smile for the camera. I know they're gonna love it. Peg, I like your pin shot.
Everything is just pristine in here.
I keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue.
Yeah.
All looks good on you.
We went to the 4 and then back.
And when you smile for the camera,
5
I know I
to
love you better.
4 to 1. It's kind of a bluesy thing, but it doesn't sound like it at all.
Come back to you. Peg,
Come on, Peg.
we'll come back to you. Damn, the shirt falls. You see it all. It's your favorite foreign movie.
Hear Michael McDonald in the background there? Multi-tracked himself, and he's a background section. I love it. Yeah. So all those chords are going down by half step. Just shifting, shifting, shifting as they go.
I like your picture. I keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue. It sure looks good on you.
Cool.
And when you smile for the camera,
And when you smile for the camera, I know I'll love you better.
hey, it will come back to you. Hey, it will come back to you. Then the shadow falls. You see it all repeat.
It's absolutely
It's your
amazing.
favorite foreign movie.
The
It will
melodies
come back to you.
are diatonic,
Hey, it will come back to you.
but the way that they're doing the chords, especially with those sevenths and extended voicings,
It's your favorite foreign movie.
it's just really sophisticated, especially to make them sound as diatonic as they do.
The shadow falls. You see it all repeat. It's your favorite foreign movie. It will come back to you. Hey, it will come back to you. Then the shadow falls.
When the shutter falls, you see it all in 3D. It's your favorite foreign movie. So, the lyrics here, I've seen your picture, your name in lights above it. This is your big debut. It's like a dream come true. So, won't you smile for the camera? I know they're going to love it, Peg. You know, so this is the jilted boyfriend who is at the photo shoot and he sees the pictures and he's upset, you know, that she's moved on, I guess. So it's an interesting point of view. Michael McDonald being an entire backing vocal section there in the choruses, that was really cool. So let's move on to the next one, y'all. Home at Last is the next song, and Donald Fagen is back on lead vocals, and he does a synth solo on this one. We bring in Bernard Purdy on the drums. For this one, Chuck Rainey is again on the bass. Larry Carlton is in as a guitar player. Walter Becker provides us a guitar solo. Victor Feldman is on the piano and vibraphone. And Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles is in as a backing vocalist this time. So let's take a look at Home at Last. Off we go. Gives me that stank face already. Smells great. I didn't see a listing for brass players.
I know
Beautiful.
this superhighway, this bright familiar.
Come on, it switched to the relative major.
I guess that I'm the lucky one.
And back to it.
Who wrote that tired
One,
sea song?
right?
Said
It's an E flat
on this peaceful
with the B
shore.
flat that it goes to.
Think you've heard this one before?
Throwing the flat. Why not?
Danger on the rocks is surely past. Still I remain tied to the mast.
Boy, Bernard Purdy sure knows how to do these little shuffle patterns, doesn't he? Amazing. And the bass is just
Home at last.
Home at Last, y'all. Really tasteful piano. Everything's right where it needs to be. Nobody's playing over anybody else. They're just right? So into verse 2, we move back to the major key. And then it cadences in G minor. Then 4 to 1 in B flat major. 1. Then E flat, D, G, that's how they get back. And then flat 2, then back. Rad. Found my home at last. So we've been on an epic journey, and we found, there was danger along the way. The danger on the rocks has surely passed. I remain tied to the mast. Could it have been that I found my home at last? Is that instrument? It's gotta be a synth. That's gotta be Donald on the synth. Walter comes in on the guitar. Lands on the major 1 chord. Back to the minor 1. Sounds so great. It just sounds. Nobody's playing over anybody else. They all fit together. The arrangement is perfect, and they're just right together. Sounds wonderful. Okay. A song of safe haven, I think, or finding your home, right? Finding your place to be after a long and arduous journey. That wasn't one of the singles, but I really enjoyed that one, y'all. Let's continue on, shall we? The next one is called "I Got the News," and in the liner notes of the album, Becker and Fagan write about this particular song, and they say this: "I got the news, a Manhattan jukebox thump-along serves as a vehicle for the coy pianistics of Victor Feldman, whose labors are capriciously undermined by Walter Becker's odd Django-esque guitar and a pointlessly obscene lyric." They write just as sophisticated as they play, don't they? So Victor Feldman is going to be one of our featured musicians here, and so is Walter Becker. Donald Fagen's on the lead vocals and the synths, as he has been. Ed Green is now on the drums. Chuck Rainey returns on the bass. Victor Feldman on the piano and vibraphone. Dean Parks is on the guitar. Walter Becker and Larry Carlton both have solos in this one. And we have several backing vocalists. Michael McDonald is back with Clyde Kine, Vanetta Fields, Shirley Matthews, and Rebecca Lewis. So let's go to this one. I have not heard this one. I am sure of it. It was not a single, and it's just an album cut. So let's listen to I Got the News from Steely Dan. Off we go. Coy is right. Just the right adjective. I'm not even going to try to figure out exactly what's going on here. He says a pointlessly obscene lyric.
Can't you see our love will grow?
Nice.
Take it in your hand, all the sirens and the band.
I love the little rhythm guitar just kind of picking away over there.
How was I to know about the warm, soulful secret you've been keeping for years? I got the news.
I gotta join in, friends.
Slow down, I'll tell you when. I may never walk again.
Just pops of color. Up a step. And minor. I hear Michael McDonald in there.
When I hear
Back to Donald.
I will still be proud to know you.
Strings. Ear candy for days, y'all. Spanish kissing, see it glisten. Beautiful. Love rampaging. There's a vibraphone. Different guitar solo. That's amazing.
I got good news. Yes, dear, how did you know? Can you see our love will grow?
Back home. doesn't do me hardly any good to try to follow their chords because they're using so many extended voicings and substitutions that it clouds the key, but the key is still really well established. I think here they're in C. But even though they're in C, they're playing more than just those white notes, y'all. I can tell you that. Wonderful. I got the news. I love that one. That was cool. Friends, all of these songs are just the epitome of cool. You know, I'd have to be more popular if I was in high school back then to listen to this, you know? Thankfully, I'm a little more popular now than I used to be, but y'all don't know any different. It's fine. Let's go on to the last song on the album, friends. I am ready. This is Josie, and it's the third and final single that they released from this album, and it became a top 30 hit. I don't think I know this one either, but I didn't think that I knew Peg, but I had heard that one. So this is described as the most conventional rock song on the album, but of course it does contain its fair share of jazzy chords. So who is Josie? Who are they talking about here? From what I can gather from the lyrics, it looks like she's a girl from the neighborhood, and it looks like she's been away for quite some time, and there is going to be some rejoicing when she comes home, especially, I think, from the neighborhood boys. And I don't know if they're anticipating anything romantic or just a wild party, but the lyrics talk about dancing on the bones until the girls say when, and then pick up whatever is left when daylight comes. So whatever they're up to, it's going to take all night, y'all. So I'm eager to hear this one. Donald Fagen returns as lead vocalist, and he's on the synths. Now we get Jim Keltner on the drums. Chuck Rainey and Victor Feldman are back. Chuck on the bass, Victor is on the Fender Rhodes. Larry Carlton and Dean Parks are on the guitars. Walter Becker is back with another guitar solo. And Timothy B. Schmidt is back with some more backing vocals. Let's listen to Josie and finish out this wonderful album, y'all. Off we go. It's a parallel motion. Ooh. Upward chromatics. I don't hear that very often. How about this? They're in E minor. We're gonna rev up the motor scooters when Josie comes home, y'all. Hide the women and children. Circle of fifths progression to get back to E. That was cool. They're gonna shine up the battle apple. I have no idea what a battle apple is. I like the Honey Crisp. Pick up what's left by daylight. When Josie comes home, it's going to be a party, y'all. That's a fifth progression, a descending fifth progression. Again, everything grooves so well here. And it shows you that you don't need huge overpowering drums or bass to get a groove going.
When Josie comes home, so good. She's the pride of the neighborhood.
Dope.
She's the raw flame, the
G,
live wire.
C,
Plays
to
like
F
a
sharp, to B, to E. And back to this like they did at the beginning. And there's those ascending chromatic chords. They move up by half step. Is this how it's going to play out? Last song on the album. I think this is going to be what they leave us with. It's kind of an open groove on an E minor 7 chord. Well, y'all, the second side is as good as the first. It really is. And I know that side 1 has the title track and Asia, and Deacon Blues. But I loved these. I love these. Which one was my favorite? I think I got the news. Maybe. I don't know. They're all great, y'all. I can't pick a favorite. How can you pick a favorite? I don't know what I'm talking about. They're all good. So I read in a little bit more on the band's history today as I was going to be wrapping up this album. And it's interesting to me, I've heard about, these great albums that they did in the 70s. And I'm like, well, what happened to them? They ended up disbanding in 1981 after releasing just one more album after this. It was Gaucho that they released in 1980. And then they split up as a duo. Remember, it's a big band, but really at the core, it's two band leaders, So the duo of Walter and Donald broke up and they pursued solo projects throughout the 1980s. But the sturdy and ongoing support from the Steely Dan fans throughout that decade, I think eventually brought them back together. And in 1993, that came true. And since that time, Steely Dan has been active, performing and touring. They've also released 2 more albums. They released Two Against Nature in 2000. That one won a Grammy. And their last album was Everything Must Go. And they still are active, y'all, but sadly, Walter Becker passed away in 2017. And with Walter's passing, Donald became the only official member of the band. And this band, with many guest musicians and with Donald at the helm, has continued to tour. Just last year, they opened up for the Eagles as part of the Eagles' Long Goodbye tour. And my in-laws went to that, and they said it was a wonderful, wonderful show. I think they saw that in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Really cool, right? So, y'all, there we go. One of the great albums of all time. Do you call it popular music? Do you call it jazz? Do you call it rock and roll? I don't know, but I call it Steely Dan, and I call it excellent. That's what I do, and I just love hearing all of the sounds, the sophisticated sounds that the band has going through their music almost at all times. It's just enough, when you're adding in as a composer all of these extra bells and whistles to kind of give the piece its seasoning, to give it its flavor and its personality. Sometimes it's hard to know when to stop because you can over season something, but they've got it just right. That pocket is open and nobody's playing over the top of anybody else. Everything fits exactly the way that they should, and it ends up just exalting the end product to be a true gestalt, the more than the sum of its parts. And I really enjoyed listening to the entire album. Of course, I had heard Asia before. I had heard Deacon Blues on the radio, and I guess I had heard Peg on the radio. I don't remember hearing Josie before, but all the rest of them were first-time listens, and I really, really enjoyed getting to know this band a little bit more and this album a little bit more. It would be great to add Asia to my collection here of LPs. Maybe someday I will do that. But for this week, y'all, that's going to be all for me. I very much appreciate your support and for hanging out with me as we listen to all of this great music. I've got a lot more coming up next week, but that's going to be all for me today. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.
It's the Daily Doug.
Welcome to the Daily Dog, the Daily